This is a real and rare scene occurring in the South Pacific Ocean. The seawater in the area is currently surging upwards continuously, as if it were boiling. What exactly is happening here are... In fact, this is the prelude to the birth of an island. Next, let's take a closer look at how this vast expanse of ocean miraculously gives birth to an island within a few hours. Following the footage captured by the photographer, we head underwater to observe. It turns out that beneath this part of the sea lies an active volcano. This active volcano is called Home Reef, located between New Zealand and Tonga. This underwater active volcano begins to erupt due to the continuous movement of the ocean floor's crust. In fact, what erupts from a volcano is not fire, but magma. This magma comes from the interior of the Earth, where the high temperatures cause rocks to melt, forming magma. The temperature of this magma exceeds 1000 degrees Celsius. And during the eruption process, the surface continuously comes into contact with seawater, which cools and solidifies it. They accumulate layer by layer around the crater. Over time, these accumulated volcanic rocks get closer and closer to the sea surface, resulting in the scene of the sea boiling. In fact, during the boiling process, these seawaters are often accompanied by violent explosions. After erupting continuously for 11 hours, the volcanic rock finally emerged above the sea surface, forming a small island. But at this time, the volcanic eruption had not yet ended, and volcanic rocks continued to accumulate on the sea surface, persisting like this for 6 days. This newly formed island surprisingly reached an area of 24,000 square meters. Some believe that the transformation of the sea into land and the changes between sea and land are formed in this way. So, which country should this new island located between New Zealand and Tonga belong to? In fact, the ownership of newly formed islands is usually determined based on the jurisdiction of the surrounding waters. The island naturally belongs to the country that owns the waters it is located in. If it happens to be in international waters, then the principle of first come, first served applies, meaning whoever occupies it first owns it. According to what I know, islands formed by such underwater volcanic eruptions often have relatively short lifespans. Previously, there was an underwater volcanic eruption near Home Reef that also formed an island, but it was washed away after just 2 months. However, a small number of such islands can exist for a longer period. There was once an island formed by an underwater volcanic eruption that lasted for 25 years before disappearing. And the reason for their disappearance is due to continuous erosion by seawater and ocean currents. Additionally, weathering causes these types of islands to collapse and disintegrate, eventually sinking into the sea. Therefore, almost no country would contest the ownership of such islands. However, there are exceptions to everything. For some small island nations, they won't miss any opportunity